Before you judge me, please hear the whole story. Because if you had asked me a year ago whether I loved my husband, I would have said yes without hesitation. At least, I thought I did. But there's a difference between loving someone and appreciating them. I learned that too late. When I met Daniel, I was 26. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't rich. He wasn't the kind of man who filled a room with confidence. But he made me feel safe. He remembered little things, how I took my coffee, my favorite songs, the flowers I pretended not to like because they were too expensive. 3 years later, we were married. Everyone said I was lucky. I believed them. Then life got comfortable. Comfort slowly became routine. Routine became boredom. That's when Ethan showed up. He joined my office as a consultant. Confident. Funny. Always dressed perfectly. He knew exactly what to say. He complimented me in ways Daniel never did anymore. You deserve to be appreciated. You've got such a beautiful smile. You must drive your husband crazy. I laughed. I told myself it was harmless. Just friendly conversations. Nothing more. But I started comparing them. Daniel came home tired from work. Ethan showed up with exciting stories. Daniel forgot anniversaries. Ethan remembered my birthday after hearing it once. I convinced myself I was falling out of love. Looking back, maybe I was just addicted to attention. One Friday evening, Ethan asked if I wanted to grab dinner after work. I lied to Daniel. I said my team had a late meeting. Instead, I spent 3 hours laughing with another man. Nothing physical happened. But emotionally, I had already crossed a line. When I finally got home, Daniel was asleep on the couch. A plate of my favorite pasta sat on the table. Covered with foil. Still warm. A handwritten note rested beside it. Didn't know when you'd get home. I didn't want you to go to bed hungry. Love you. I stared at it. Then shoved it aside. I wish I could tell you that was my wake-up call. It wasn't. Over the next month, I kept finding reasons to see Ethan. Coffee. Lunch. Long conversations in the parking lot. Every time I came home, Daniel smiled like nothing had changed. That somehow made me resent him even more. He was too kind. Too predictable. Too safe. One night, Ethan finally admitted he liked me. My heart raced. For weeks I'd imagined hearing those words. But instead of excitement, I felt strangely empty. Still, I didn't stop talking to him. Everything changed on a rainy Tuesday. Daniel came home early. He quietly placed divorce papers on the kitchen table. No yelling. No accusations. No tears. I froze. Daniel, what's this? He looked at me with eyes I'd never seen before. Not angry. Just tired. I deserve someone who chooses me every day. That was it. One sentence. No dramatic speech. No begging me to stay. He picked up a small overnight bag. Walked to the front door. Then paused. Without turning around, he said 5 words I'll never forget. I hope he loves you. Then he left. I watched him walk down our driveway. Rain soaked his jacket. He never looked back. For the first time in months, I realized I wasn't watching a husband leave. I was watching my best friend walk out of my life forever. Something inside me broke. I ran outside barefoot, screaming his name. He kept walking. Not faster. Not slower. Just forward. The silence hurt more than any argument ever could. The next morning, I called Ethan. He sounded excited. So, does this mean we're finally together? I waited for my heart to feel something. Anything. Instead, I heard Daniel's voice in my head. I deserve someone who chooses me every day. I suddenly realized Ethan only loved the version of me that belonged to someone else. He loved the chase. The excitement. The secret. Not the real woman standing on the other end of the phone. I ended the call within 2 minutes. I never spoke to him again. It's been almost 3 years now. Daniel remarried last spring. His new wife looks genuinely happy. When I saw their wedding photos online, I smiled. Then cried for an hour. Not because I wanted him back. Because I finally understood what I'd thrown away. Love isn't constant excitement. It isn't butterflies every single day. Real love is someone making your favorite dinner after a 12-hour shift. Waiting up to make sure you get home safely. Choosing you even when life becomes ordinary. I mistook peace for boredom. And attention for love. By the time I realized the difference, the man who had quietly loved me for years had already learned how to live without me. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. The grass rarely turns out to be greener. Sometimes, you only realize how beautiful your own garden was after you've walked away from it.